Body, speech, and mind held in perfect oneness. I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow.
Good evening, my dear brothers, sisters, and friends. Today is the Friday, April the 14th, 15th, 2016. I just back from Korea after 12 days there. And this trip was invited by the Vietnamese Buddhist community in Korea for many years, and I cannot make my time to be there to visit them and give some retreats and Dhamma talks. I'm very glad that this year I can make it, and they're very happy to be together because they live many different areas around Korea, and very hard that they can get together at once, because some of them immigrant in Korea by marriage situation case, and some of them were there to work, and when they faced a difficult time, they changed the new place to live. They changed the environment. They changed the tradition, the cultural, and especially the language. And also, they have a lot of. Some of them have a perception about their new life, their new places. That's why when they face the reality, they are unable to accept. And some of them will very suffer. And they cannot handle, they cannot transform the suffer. They cannot accept, and they committed to suicide. And when they call here, and there was a lady who realized their situation, and she stand up and call all of them together as a group, so she can try her best to help her as much as she can. And also they call here, and we try to talk with them on the phone a lot, gave a lot of talks through the phone call, long distance call. And this time when I have a chance to come and they announce on Facebook, of course they don't have any Vietnamese radio or newspaper or newsletter. There's nothing that they can announce this to public unless they post this through our websites, and also especially the Facebook. Many of them lived in the countryside after their marriage, and they are unable to make it. I remember the last day before I depart, I was at the airport, and there was a lady who called through the Facebook for the other lady on the other side, and she, after she see me through the phone, and she kneel down and she bowed deeply 3 times. And she said, Thầy, you have to accept these bows because I want to express my gratitude, my thanks to you, because without your talks through YouTube, and I am unable to find my way back. And many young friends who came and see me, and they expressed the same. I conduct the refugee ceremony for 200 of them who register, and all of them, 100%, all of them, like they were born from 1980 until 1995, around that, very young. And when they live in a very difficult environment, situation in Vietnam, and they thought that if they got married, they will step out of their poor situation. They will meet a new environment. They will live a new situation because they watch a lot of Korean movies, and they see a lot of luxury life and happy life. And when they face the reality, they are not exactly what they thought, and they cannot stand for. And a lot of them committed to suicide. And of course, when they also have a bad treatment from their husband's side too. There are many difficulties, but some of them, they are very lucky. They meet a good family who love them a lot, and their life is very happy. So I met many of them in that case. And in 10 days in a row, when we have a chance to talk with different area and different audiences, I remind them same thing. Because the Buddha already informed with us, there is nothing in this life, there is nowhere in this life that we live without difficulties and suffering. Not only in Korea, not only in Vietnam. And I share with them back 40 years ago, when the Vietnamese first immigrants in Canada, we faced the same thing. We don't speak English. We cannot eat Western food. We cannot drive, and we cannot stand the cold. Many difficulties. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. And last night, I talked to a family who their very young child committed to suicide because she felt that she lost. She cannot make people around her happy, and she expected that she would want to make people around her happy, and she could not make it, and she wanted to kill herself. And you know, in our society right now, a lot of young people, they feel that way. They cannot have enough power inside of them to face something difficulty, because since they were young, they live in a very happy environment. So when they slowly step outside world, and they face something difficulty, and they felt this is the end of the world. And sometimes even we are the adults. We are the same. So the practice here is to be mindful, to see our real situation, and to see that difficulties are not something really, really bad that to sink us down, but we should see that this is the way to help us to stand up. This is the lesson, and this is the merits. Let's say if you have to work for someone who always give you a hard time, and do not feel that this person is your enemy. Because if your heart have enough love, loving kindness, if your heart have enough compassion, you have no enemy in your heart. But you see that everyone around you are your friends. But friends that understanding you and help you. Friends who are not yet understanding you. They're still friends, but they are not understanding you yet. Or they don't have enough understanding for you. And you have to live in such a way, try your best to live in such a way to make them understand. In this life, we always want to make people happy. And this is a good intent. We want to make people around us love us. This is a good intent. But we have to learn mindfulness, how to make people love us. We always want to make people, have a good feeling about us. But we don't do anything. Then this doesn't work. This afternoon I have a couple who came to see me, and they expressed that after research many different faiths, and now they inform their whole family, realize that Buddhism able to answer their questions and help them to live happy. And when he came and see me and he want to learn sitting meditation and learn more about the Buddha's teaching. And he asked me a question, Thầy, can you give me the main thing, just one thing or something that very main about Buddhism? And I told him that mindfulness. This is something I always remind my friends, my brothers, my sister, every Friday or every time that I have a chance to talk with them. Because without mindfulness, we cannot see our negatives and our positives. Without mindfulness, we cannot see that we are having problems because we used to live with our wrong perception. We have lots of images. We have lots of visualize. Oh, I think, that will be like this, that will be like that. Before we go to Korea, some of the friends who help us to organize the tour there, she have to went to some of the temple and request for temple stay. And everybody have in their mind is, at least we have a bed. But actually when we went there, we all sleep on floor. And then when they step in and looking for, they thought that empty space is a living room. They try to looking for, bedroom. I said, this is your living room, your bedroom, and also your dining room. The reason they don't have bed because, we want to use the space useful. After you wake up, you roll your blanket, your pillows, you put in the drawer, and you have an empty space. You can have a meeting, you can eat, you can do whatever you want. This is one of the ways to save your spaces. And they said, oh, there's no bed. I said, new experience. And they will say that after first few days, they complain. They say, oh, I hurt my back, very pain. I said, if you back in Vietnam, you still sleeping like this. You train yourself to get used with the luxury bed. So everything is a training. Before we came to Canada, this is how we sleep in Vietnam. So after many years we live in the West, we sleep in the bed, and then we spoil ourselves. And now we cannot sleep on floor anymore. We never know how to smoke. But why we got addicted? Because we have the first cigarette. And then we have the second one, the third one, until the day we get used to it. We're addicted to it. There's nothing we do once and then we're addicted. We must do many times in order to addict it. This is the Buddha called karma. Karma means something we do over and over many times. But if we are mindful enough, we will choose the good karma. If we are not mindful enough, we may train us into a bad karma. So why we need to sit? We need to sit in order to see our bad karma in order to transform. Our good karma in order to develop. There was a young man who emailed me a long email. And he said that, Thầy, one day I practiced meditation and I cry a lot. Suddenly I cry because I can see, all my negatives. But I'm glad that I'm able to find the way to transform This is our fortunate. So I told my friends, my community, Vietnamese community in Korea, even you live in a difficulty environment sometime, but don't you see that you are lucky enough to live in this kind of country? You are free compared to your difficulties. You have more fortunate than mystery. And why we have to use a small negative in order to embrace everything. And this is who we are, because we don't have enough energy to transform. And what is the purpose of practicing Buddhism? We all know that Buddhism is not a religion. Buddhism is not only philosophy. Instead of becoming a philosopher, we better become a practitioner. Because only when you're able to practice, you're able to help yourself. Do not misunderstand and do not forget that once you hold a map in your hand, doesn't mean you arrive to your destination. When you have the prescription on your hand, doesn't mean you are healed. You have to take medication. But once you take medication, you have to take the right dose. Otherwise, you will overdose. You see, even we take medication, still we need to follow instruction how much we can take. So when you walk, when you're practicing walking meditation, just walk as normal. Gently and normally. You don't have to pretend, oh, this is my first step, this is the second, and you will look like a robot. Just walk like a peaceful man. Sometimes there's nothing we need to rush, but we still rush. Because we live with the habit more than the stopping. If you stop, you're able to slow down. We only can see things clearly when we're able to stop. If we're still walking and running, we're unable to stop. If you are holding something very full and you don't want to spill, you must walk slowly. Same thing. Sometimes we talk too fast. Words can make problems. We spill out the words that not necessary to spill. So that's why, we learn to slow down. Slow down doesn't mean, you need to slow everything. But you are mindful when to slow and when you run. Sometimes we line up for the security check. And people who are late, they will announce, whoever late for your flight, you must, move up. For those who are not rushed, please stand on the side and let all the rushing people move up. Don't you see that sometimes? Sometimes in the flight, we will delay, but some of the traveler, they were late for the flight. So if we are not rushed, sit down, let them stand up and they run first. And after that is our turn. We cannot say, where are you going? You practice meditation, you must slow down. Meditation is the practice, but this practice is not let you die for, but it helps you to live more active. So people sometimes they are looking for the way, the practice, but they don't know how to be flexible in their practice. And they take the message, they take the the message, the practice is like, something that unable to change. And this is not the way of Buddhism. So sometimes you see difficulties, you face difficulty. Do not think, this is it. You cannot move, you cannot change. You can. When you writing some words, if you make mistake, you can correct. If you write the number is not clear enough, you can make it clearer. So the Buddha advised, one of the good way to live, one of the way to make people happy with yourself is to change ourselves. We know how to construct and we know how to rebuild. If there's nothing yet, we try to construct something. But if anything collapses, we need to rebuild it. We need to fix and change ourselves. Always give you the positive energy. On the way we drive from one city to another city, it took about 7 hours to be there. And if we strictly go there, we will arrive very late at night. So the organizer there said that if it's possible, we can stop halfway to stay overnight, and then next morning we can continue. And this will make the trip shorter and we are less tired. So they're looking for a resort. And because this beautiful resort is small, but very nice, very beautiful, in a very small village, big bus cannot come in. So we have to get off the bus and take a long walk. Unfortunately, that night, it's a big rain. You see? So we used to say that good luck, good fortunate never come double. Bad luck never come individual. Sometimes you have difficulties one by one, or sometimes they come together, right? There's some news need to announce. First, we only stay here one night. So very late at night, and next morning we need to leave early. So do not bring anything with you. That means tonight you cannot take shower. Don't bring anything with you because we need to take a long walk. And to my understanding, this resort is small. So if you bring a lot, we don't have enough space. Everybody left their stuff back on the bus, and they're willing to get off the bus and walk. But when we arrive there, it's a big rain. We cannot walk. But very lucky, there was a lady who have her like a small minivan. She gave many rides back and forth. And when we arrived there, it's already 10 o'clock. 10 p.m. Very dark, and we don't know. I don't know who stay at whatever resort. But everything is over. And when I lie down, I can hear the rain, and it remind me back in Vietnam. And early morning, I can hear the rooster. I can hear many sounds in the countryside, exactly like Vietnam. I woke up people in the same room. I say, We lived for many years already. This is the only chance to enjoy. So we woke up early and we took pictures and we enjoy the early morning in that small village, in our small hut, small resort. So if you know the nature of everything, they do not have any difficulties or happiness. Depends on how we see things. If you see things, if you stay in this small resort and you realize it's nice to have something like this, and automatically you feel happy. If you accept easily and you can see things become beautiful. If you expect you have to live in a hotel, you don't like this kind of environment, then you cannot change the situation, but it just make you, if you give yourself hard time, and you also give people who organize it hard time. Sometimes we give our family, our relatives, our people hard time, but things cannot change. We like Coke, we like coffee, we like tea, we like different type of beverage. But none of them can compare with water. Sometimes we need a bottle of water. And every different type of drinks come from water. They need, the water is the basic to make all different kind of drinks. Sometimes we just live simple. And the way we live simple is always the best. Do not train yourself to become too addicted or become anything of habit. Let's say we always use internet, and right now anywhere we go, we can ask for Wi-Fi, or we can ask for internet, but sometimes you have to stay in a place that no internet. Can you handle? If you're okay with it, that means you're okay. You walk in, you walk out. Unbelievable. This is no Wi-Fi. You just make your day and your evening no joys. And I believe that in Chicago, you only have 30 minutes for free Wi-Fi. After that, you have to pay if you want to connect internet. And you will not pay for $40 per night or day in there. Then what do? No internet. And let's say 30 years ago, you have no internet. How is your life? Is your life the same, normal? But how come now you have internet and you have no internet, you are abnormal? So why we are normal? Because we don't keep everything neutral. That's why the Buddha never encouraged. If people praising us, try not too happy. Because if you're too happy, and one day you will be too sad. So if people blaming you, try not too sad, just neutral. And you see that when they agree with what you do, they praise it. If they do not agree with what you do, they blame me. That's all. So the best is to stay in the middle path. That's why the Buddha has one dot right on his forehead to remind us, just live with your neutral middle path. We are not extremely happy, or we do not extremely sad. There was a nun who joined our group. And every day she sit with me to have meal together, 3 meals a day, and she She loved to see the way I eat because she said, Thầy, I think you are a really easy eater. You can eat kimchi every day. Because the first dish in Korea is kimchi. Every single meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we line up to get food, and after the rice is the first one is kimchi. And they have the radish, kimchi radish. They have bean sprout, kimchi bean sprout. But I enjoy. And I like to experience different type of food when I have a chance to travel with different country. I have no problem with eating. And I always feel that, we are very lucky to have food to eat when we're hungry. And we are very lucky to experience many different type of traditional food. It's like when you come to Vietnamese temple for retreat or mindfulness day, you always like to enjoy the Vietnamese vegetarian dishes. Different than pasta and french fries and burgers and pizzas. So the practice here is to be mindful where we are in order not to complain. If you accept that you are travel, then you should know that this is not your home. If it's your home, then you can have everything you want. But if you travel, then sometimes you need to missing something. Nothing completely exactly as your home. Otherwise, just stay home. But if you like to travel, then you have to accept, sitting long flight, change your time to sleep, change food, and otherwise, why you pay for this travel? You pay for your traveling, then you have to travel. And the meaning of travel is to learn, to open your eyes, to see many different types of things. Then why we expect everything to be exactly the same? If you accept to live in Korea, then you have to see different things from Korea and you learn. One day I came to a temple, and the temple invite us for meal. And usually our practice is we need to bring up our bowl and eat. We are not allowed to leave the bowl on the table and put our face down and eat like this. This is not the way. But when I go to Korea, I do the same, and they whisper to my ear. They say, Thầy, in Korea, the tradition is you're not allowed to bring up your bowl and eat. You must leave back on your table. Because bringing up your bowl and eat is not polite. It's not the way. You see? Different tradition, different cultural. I met a young Korean monk, and he said, Thầy, can you please write your name in Chinese? And I wrote my name in Chinese, and he's so happy because he can pronounce my name and he can know exactly my name, what it means in Chinese. And he brought me to his area, and he gave me the rope, the sangati. And I put on my shoulder, and I tried to put on the rope, and he's surprised. You know how to do this? I said, don't forget I am the monk too. And some point we meet, and some point we don't. We wear same traditional sangati. I put on the way I put the rope, exactly the way he did. So this is for all of us to remember. If we go to somewhere, there's always new thing to learn. That doesn't mean that is something we suffer for. If we accept to go to a new area, new place, then new place give us new experiences. You are 20 years old. You experience about life as your age. Now you are 50. You will see life different way. And they always have new things to see and to enjoy. It's like the cloud, the sunshine. None of the winter. This winter not the same as the last winter. This summer will not exactly the last summer. So why we need to expect things exactly as we expect? We live with the past, we expect the future, but we forgot the present. And this is not the way to practice. Even the present moment, we still not hold, we still cannot catch. Because every single second become the past. You came here at 6, now it's 8. Even we call today, but today moved. Today never stay. We need to cultivate this kind of reflecting, this kind of insight in order to make our self fully aware and live happy. And because it's moved, that's why you don't have to sit here longer. You have a chance to stand up and go home and sleep. And because we have Monday, Tuesday, and that's why we have Friday again. And because we have Friday over, that's why we have Saturday for a party. Or we have a Sunday to go to churches. So you see, impermanent is not suffering. Impermanent is something to help us to move on. So every single thing in this life, the nature of things never contain any suffering or happiness. It depends on how we view them. The Buddha asks us to see things with our right view. And the right view gives us right understanding. And because we have right understanding, that's why we have right livelihood. And because we have a right livelihood, that's why we have right diligence. And because we have right diligence, that's why we have right fruit to achieve and the right happiness. So if one thing is right, it brings the right along. Many other rights. This is not a philosophy. This is the reality. And each of us, we need to get into the practice. We don't want to train ourselves become a philosopher. We want to train ourselves become a practitioner. Only a practitioner can achieve the happiness. Do not train ourselves become, we must be the tongue in order to taste the soup. Otherwise, we only, become the spoon. The spoon only can scoop the soup, but the spoon cannot taste the soup unless we use the tongue to taste it. The teachings of the Buddha is the same. The Buddha offered us the way to live happy. If we want to be happy, there are many ways to be happy. The ways to happiness is already there. We don't have to looking for more. Just live exactly what we have. Everything we want is only desire. Everything we need is already there. We want a house. We need a house. We need a place to stay. Yes, we already have. We need a coat for winter. Yes, we have. We need a pair of shoes. Yes, we do have. But how come we still have 99 more in the drawer? And remember, that's 99 pair of shoes. Those are the desire of the wanting. Buy what you need. Do not buy what you like. Because what you like can become dislike. And what you like can be the old-fashioned. And one day, if it's the old-fashioned, you cannot use it anymore. That's why as a monk, as a monastic, you are very wise and very clever, intelligent. This is our fashion, and this fashion never changes. That's why we are very happy. We don't have to looking for more jackets, more fashion. It's 2,500 years ago already. This still very fashion. You need to buy magazines to see new hairstyle, different type of clothes for different type of weather or seasons. If I attend big ceremony or big party, I still have brown, gray, and yellow. But you have to choose different type of clothes. That's why sometimes you attend only 10-minute ceremony, but you lose one day to shopping around to looking for what you want to wear. This morning, that man asked me, how come all of you look so calm and so happy? Don't tell me that you have to smile because I am your guest. We can smile because, we feel that we have everything. I don't need anything else. And if we need to do something now, just for us, enough, or more than enough. So this is how we learn and try to practice. Please do not feel that difficulties are the end of the world. But these are the time for us to learn and move on. If we used the morality to live, we gain more merits. If we use our power to live, our power easily to be end. The morality, the merits, invisible but countless. The power we gain have limited, because let's say if you vote that I become the president of a group and my term is only 4 years. So if I live with this power, maybe 4 years maximum. But while I have my power, I don't use it, but I use my morality practice, my virtue. Even one day I have no longer become a president, but we live strongly and healthily in everyone's heart. This is the practice. So may you be well and happy. Enjoy your weekend.